Alright, I'm going to review the Nathan Trail Plus Waist Pack. Um, Design seems nice. The functionality seems nice. Race-wise, eh. If you're just going to hike with it, maybe bike with it, a little bit, it works perfectly. But for a race, I do not recommend this. I would stay away from this. If you read some of the reviews on it, as far as bottles falling out, I can vouch for that. The velcro breaking, I can see that happening. A lot of people have a lot of issues with this waist pack and the velcro breaking or just stretching out a little bit. When I first got it the other week, I really liked it. As I usually do for Nathan products, I got it, cinched up to my tightness liking. I really liked how the bottles, sat in my back. I liked how that pouch was centered. So everything in the back, as I was running, weight-wise, felt nice. It was nice and snug against me. I mean, again, the only downfall with most waist pack is you got that little the clamp in the front. It was a pain in the butt. You'd really have to go back and forth a little bit with the belt. I just, yeah. How did I do this? How did I just do that? Tuck in the access like that, so it's not flapping around as you're running. It has a couple things right there so you can tighten down, put some gels, put some nutrition, whatever. Tighten them up real quick. We'll get back to the back here real quick. With this pouch, it's got a nice little Velcro pouch. Some breathable material. It's even got a zipper part in the back here. Very wide. You can stick a lot of junk in there. It's even got another little pouch in the pouch. So you got basically 3 compartments in the back here. The zipper doesn't really bounce too much. Everything about it right off the bat, I really liked. I wore it a couple times in training. I really liked this. Thought it was going to be my go-to from now on. So what are these? Yeah, these are 9+ ounce bottles. To me, that's usually all I really need for a 50K or under, unless it's a really humid day. So I was like, yeah, I can make it between 8 station and 8 station with 18 ounces, as long as it's 8 to 10 miles in between. At least that's how I run. As you see the big the Velcro gives pretty good. Or elastic, I keep calling it Velcro, but whatever, elastic stretches pretty good. Now that's sort of the downfall of this design. Let me see. Oh, it's going to be hard to show because I don't have these full anymore. I was trying to dry them back out. No, I was doing a race, a trail race. This is where the belt just went downhill for me. I can't use it anymore. I was doing a trail race about 7 miles in. It was a hot summer day, so I was really sweaty. I took a couple sips of the bottles. They were full before I took a couple sips and got a little air in them. I might have drank like maybe 2 ounces at the most out of the one. But you see how, let me see if I can show you real quick. See, alright, you see this bottom here? I am barely, we'll do it a pinky way. See how much it's coming up already? Half an inch or more. Just barely putting any pressure on it to pull it out. So what happens is, or what happened to me, and I think a lot of other people from reading their reviews and critiques of this vest, you think, now if it's full and it's weighted down, that's not an issue. If you're running hard, doing a race, it's not really an issue. But then as soon as you get a couple ounces taken out of it and you're running hard, say downhill. When it's in your back, let me see if I can show you. So I'm barely pulling it out. You see all that? See that air gap real quick? You get that water sloshing around in there, and it just goes whoop, right on the ground. It happened to me 4 times during the race. I think at least 2, if not all 4, were running downhill. So the water, like again, as you see that big air gap, I would say it's like a good an inch, just barely any movement. Now, if I'm just sitting here and they're empty, obviously they're not moving. With a little bit of liquid and a little bit of pressure running downhill, what was happening is the water was splashing the top, and it was just working itself out. It was the elastic, when it got wet, it didn't become as tight as well either. So as I'm running hard, they're just flapping out. I wouldn't say it was hitting my butt at all. I don't really have a big ass, so my butt wasn't really a factor for anything like pushing up. As you see, my ass wasn't really like hitting the bottles at all or doing anything like that. It was just the matter of air and water ratio and just how loose the bottles were just flapping out. And then once the elastic got a little wet, it didn't become as tight. So the belt was basically failing and your bottles are falling out. So if you're doing a race and you're a hard runner or you're doing some technical training, you really can't wear this vest. So if you really can't wear it for a race, it becomes useless. Now granted, if you're going out hiking, I don't know about biking, I don't know if I trust it because they might fall out, you don't know it. But if you're just out hiking, or doing a nice walk or rocking or whatever, this would still be functionable. But if you're actually going to run with it, unless you're doing like a rail trail or something like that, do not buy this vest. I'm not even going to take it on a rail trail to test it out because I'm not going to be stuck, putting the bottles in my hand once I get sweaty and then running back to my vehicle. I actually had to ditch this vest at an aid station because again, bottles were falling out like mile 7. I think we had like 1,100 feet of gain at that time, maybe like 700 feet of descent. So, it was just like the friction and whatnot. It just was wearing itself out in those first couple miles. And again, for me, taking it out maybe 3 times at the most, probably only like twice since it was only like 7 miles in, it just got so loose that they just started plopping out. And when you're doing a race, you can't be chasing your bottles down. Luckily, I wasn't alongside a cliff at the time. That would have sucked. I was luckily like just on a slight slope, and when they fell, they hit like a bush or something like that. So I was able to just stop real quick, lose my momentum, and get it. But let's just say you're wearing this during a trail race, and you're like on a nice little cliff or a nice real slope. Guess what? They pop out. Your bottle's 200 yards down the hill. What are you gonna do? Well, now you're you either have to trek down a hill unsafely, or you're just gonna have to get off the bottle and no water the rest of the race. So I would avoid this vest if you're actually gonna race in it or do some trails in it, unless you're just again hiking or walking. Then it's fine because it does have a lot of storage. You got 18 ounces that you can carry on you. You can attach a lot of stuff, keys, mace, anything like that. And you can cinch it to your size. I guess it's one size fits most type model. Take it off real quick. Material's not bad against your body. Well, yeah, as you just see right there. Look how easy. Look how much of an air gap. See, that's what I'm talking about. Pinching it a little bit, barely moving. See how much of an air gap that you're getting. So it's definitely a design flaw from the Nathan products. I'm not sure how to fix it offhand, because you can't really tighten this back, because then the back one, because then pushes it up forward. I think it's just like this. You see how much stretches in this like elastic up here? I think that just needed to be like cut, tighten a lot more. Plus you see how much space like on the sides here. I think that was another design flaw with these bottles, because it's technically supposed to, the elastic's supposed to, I guess, catch in these little grooves here. I don't know. I could be wrong. But if you're wearing it and you look at it, if you actually put the bottle the whole way down, it's already past the grooves. So it really doesn't even catch it. It's not tight enough, you know, to even set in there. Like if it was up here, because if it was actually in those little grooves, guess what? Look how much air you got there. So it's definitely a design flaw. I think both in bottle design, plus the way the way the elastic here is, and this strap down here. It's all a design flaw. Again, I'm not the only one that has bottles falling out. If you look at the reviews online, a bunch of people just trashed this waist pack for the bottles, and then this elastic just fraying. Personally, this is my second one of these. I got it the one day, went out and did a little group run, and here I filled the bottles up. The first day I even got this, the stinking bottles were leaking. It wouldn't cinch tight down, so I actually emailed Nathan and was like, hey, this is going on. He actually sent me a whole new one. The bottles didn't leak, but again, I actually tried it during a race, because I was like, oh, I did it during a training run, it felt fine, whatever. I didn't do a hard training run. I just did a couple miles around my town on some asphalt. It felt fine. I didn't have any issues. I wasn't really sweaty. But again, during a race, I'm actually doing some technical terrain, putting it through the ringer, getting it wet a little bit. That's when I started having issues. So it becomes a non-functioning belt for me. So think about that when you looking at belts to purchase. I would avoid this one at all costs. Definitely look at something else. What your preference is. I don't want to say any names offhand, but in another product review that I did, you'll see a product that I really rave about. But again, don't waste your money on this. Read the reviews. The reviews are correct on this. Even though if I'm just going to go out and maybe do find some geocaches, or again just walk and explore a little bit around a different area, this would work, but not for race or actually running. You're going to be very disappointed in it, so please avoid it.